Okay, we are live. All of us are live.
Yeah,
All right. Good evening,
yeah, like,
everybody. Thank
mhm.
you for joining this session. It's such a pleasure to have and meet you all. My name is MFONISO, and I am a Commonwealth scholar, and I am currently at the University of
Name is
Warwick in the United
Foniso,
Kingdom, and I'm studying
and
big
I
data.
am a Commonwealth scholar, and I am currently
What's
Okay.
at
that?
the University of Warwick in the United Kingdom, and I'm
Your
studying
village.
I am a Commonwealth scholar, and I am currently
What's
Okay.
at
that?
the University of Warwick
I
in the
think
United
it's
Kingdom, and I'm
echoing.
studying
Your village.
Yeah,
I am a Commonwealth scholar, and I am currently
Okay.
at the University of Warwick
I
in the
think
United
it's
Kingdom.
echoing.
oh,
I'm so sorry about that. I think it was echoing. I didn't know where the echo came from. Okay, I think we are back online. All right. Sorry, sincere apologies about that. That came from me. So I was introducing myself. Yes. So my name is Infoni Sudo, and I welcome you all once again. I am the only person who is not an Erasmus scholar. That is why I am wearing my representative hoodie so that I can stand out
mm,
clear. Please forgive me. So I would actually want to give you time to introduce yourself, but before we do that, please, if you are not talking, kindly mute your mic so that there won't be an echo, because YouTube has a very interesting format of, if people are in a group chat and they are not, other people are not talking, it has a way of echoing. So if you are not talking, kindly just mute your mic, and please don't forget to unmute yourself when you are supposed to come up and talk, so that we won't have to remind you to mute unmute yourself. Please just have that consciousness registered in you. And also, I would start with Kudirat, please kindly introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself a little bit, where you are, what you're studying, and why you applied for Erasmus. Yes. Okay, Kudirat, you're muted. Please, you're muted. Can you unmute yourself?
so sorry, I forgot.
No worries.
Yeah, my name is Kudrat Lawal. Like as earlier said, I graduated from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Nigeria, the common footer known, and I studied forestry and wood technology for my bachelor's. And presently, I'm pursuing a master's degree in sustainable forest and nature management at the University of Göttingen in Germany. And my second mobility will be at the University of Bangor in the UK. I think you can hear me well.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, in the UK. So I applied for Erasmus because it has a lot of advantages over some other scholarship opportunities. Like for instance, there is no age limit for Erasmus application.
Okay.
And also, you have the opportunity to explore, to study in more than one university. I think those two. Let me allow others to add more.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. Um, okay. Sika, please can you take the lead?
All right. Good evening, everyone. It's really a great pleasure to be in this session, to be joined by my mentors in this show, and also to share. So, first of all, my name is Nsika Kabasi George. I am currently studying the European Masters of Public Health. My first year is here at the University of Sheffield. My second So after University of Sheffield, I'll be going to the University of Reims in France, and then from there proceeding to the Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland. Um, so on and before now, I was working at the Kano State University of Health back in Nigeria before now. My undergraduate degrees is in public health. I studied public health at the University of Calabar, Etagbo.
Um,
So that's just a little brief from my end. So I'll just give it up
you haven't
to
told us why
another.
you applied to Erasmus Mundus
All
Scholarship.
right. So first thing first, because I am very interested in health systems, and my work have also revolved around health financing and also health system strengthening. I looked through, and the Erasmus Mundus scholarship for the European Masters of Public Health was really one that really fitted my what I wanted to do, like my career path. And so with that, I just had to put in the application, and I was just very sure and very optimistic that I'm going to get in. So here we are. Thank you.
Okay, it's such a pleasure to have you. Mrs. Oluwatobi. Global. Please, can you kindly introduce yourself and tell us why you applied for Erasmus and what you're currently studying and the country that you are in?
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Oluwatobiloba Shodade, and I'm a wife and a mother of 2 kids. I studied BSc in psychology, and I also have a master's also in clinical psychology from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Osun State, Nigeria. I'm currently studying cyberspace, behavior, and e-therapy. And my first place right now where I am is University of Lusofona in Lisbon, Portugal. And after then, I'll be going to University of Barcelona in Spain, and thereafter University of Paris in France. Why did I apply for Erasmus? Actually, I've heard about Erasmus. It's been a long time I heard about Erasmus. Like before I went for my master's in OAU, I knew about Erasmus, but I don't know. I didn't shoot for it. I didn't do anything. But I just stumbled at it. That's the word. I just stumbled at it early this year and I applied, and that was the only thing I applied for. And the reason why I applied for it was the vastness, and it was actually the topic that was catchy to me, because I look at the combination and it was really attractive and I loved it, and it was in line with what I was doing currently. So that's why. Thank you.
Amazing. Now, all of us have very various reasons why we applied for Erasmus. Some people is God's grace, some people is hard work, some people is luck and every other thing, and some people is opportunities. It's so lovely to hear all of those. So, Precious, please, can you kindly tell us about yourself a little bit? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Precious Uchechi Ize, and I studied law from the University of Nigeria, and I am on the International Law of Global Security, Peace, and Development program under Erasmus. My first university is the University of Glasgow. My next university it's his Spanish name, but the short form is IBE in Barcelona. And the last university is Université de Bruxelles in Brussels. I applied for Erasmus because international law as a field is not a popular specialization of law that Nigerians go into. Even many law firms in Nigeria hardly have a public international law practice. And also, like, having a master's is like a prerequisite to like get a job in the international law sphere. So that was why I applied for the Erasmus program, because I was just not going to have just a master's. I was going to have like multiple degrees across different European countries, which would enable me experience their teaching methods and their like the aspects of law. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. All right. Thank you very much for that. Abubakar, I don't know if you can kindly put on your video and introduce yourself a little bit.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
I think I have to use my phone if I have to enable my video, because my laptop doesn't have a web camera. It's a gaming laptop that I think I have to switch to my phone if I have to enable the video.
Okay, please kindly do that, because it's a live session. It's on YouTube, and yes, see your face.
Okay.
So I think you can just rejoin back.
Yes, let me do that.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Stephanie, I'm so sorry that your network is doing like this. Please kindly introduce yourself so that we can continue. I think you're joined in 2 places from the back end. I can see you in 2 places. That's why this is happening. So, Stephanie, we cannot hear you. I don't know. You're joined in 2 places. Is it that you're joined with your phone and your laptop and it's causing a conflict between what's going on? Okay, I am so sorry about that. I think the problem is actually from my end. I think she joined with two devices. So from my end, I was seeing her twice. So it was conflicting from my end. That is why we are not able to hear her. But we will continue with this. If you are just joining us, you're welcome. We are doing introduction of the scholars. And if you have listened to the scholars introduce themselves, you actually discover that the scholars are from different part of the world. We have scholars from almost every part of Europe join us for this station this evening, and it's already an interesting station. And we also have people that are viewing this station from all over the world: India, Nigeria, UK, and etc. etc. So, Abubakar, please can you introduce yourself so that we can continue?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I am in my jacket because it's very cool over here, and I don't think the heaters are enabled yet. So my name is Uzairu Abubakar, and I am originally from Sokoto State of Nigeria.
Okay.
And I did my bachelor's degree in Hungary on the Hungarian government scholarship. I did my bachelor's degree in electrical and electronics engineering from the University of Debrecen in Debrecen. And I am currently studying for a master's degree program in imaging and light in extended reality, which is like a difficult thing to comprehend because it combines like images and like it's just computer science and then physics combined in like virtual reality applications. So my countries of mobility, I am currently in Finland for the first semester, and then I would be in France for the second semester, and then I will be in Japan for the third semester, and then I will get to choose my last semester between the countries for the thesis. So for me, the major reason why I decided, because Erasmus wasn't just the application I applied or the scholarship I applied for, but the main reason for choosing Erasmus because it was a program that could connect me to like my future career. Like I did electrical engineering and I wanted to go into IT, but I didn't really want to go into like a complete IT program. And this is the Erasmus program that perfectly suits my career prospect. Like it combines computer science and then engineering and then physics at the same time, all in virtual reality applications. And then which is my interest majorly was on the photonics side. I mean, because when I was in my bachelor's degree, when I was pursuing my bachelor's degree, there was some courses I took all towards the end of the program that correlated exactly as the program. So it was a bit easier for me to get into a program through those courses I took in my bachelor's degree program. Yeah, so thank you very much. Yes.
Amazing. I'm so delighted to have you, and you don't speak like you're a Nigerian, and it's really, really interesting. So if listening to all of you introduce yourself, okay, Stephanie, please introduce yourself in 1 minute, please, so that we can move on. We can't hear you. Your voice is very low. Is it just me? We can't hear you, Stephanie. No, we still can't hear you. It's an interesting thing when we were having a conversation before we came online, and now I can't hear her again. I'm so sorry about that. I think Stephanie is having issues. Please, Donatus, please, I would kindly want to admonish all the scholars to kindly turn on their videos. This was a live session for a reason. So if the live station, you're expected to see your faces and all, so that people can see you, know you, and interact with you further. Now, after I've heard all of you introduce yourself, if I am new to scholarship applications, I will be exhausted and tired because everybody's introducing different programs that are strange. It's not the normal routes that we know about scholarships. And people are introducing that they will study in Germany, in Japan, in UK, in France, and all of that, and all of that. I please kindly explain to me as a newbie. Sika, you're the first person on my screen. Just kindly tell me what is Erasmus and how do I navigate through Erasmus? Why are you guys talking about different countries? It's not supposed to be like COMMONWEALTH scholarship that is only. Okay, how is Erasmus? How does it work, please? Thank you.
All right. For this, it would have been a pleasure if my mentor, Kudira Jumoke, goes, because she's certainly the face of Erasmus Mundus 2022.
I'll come to her. I think
exactly. but be it as it may, I will just continue. All right. So Erasmus Mundus Scholarship It's sponsored by the European Union, and it's structured in a way that you get to study in at least 2 countries across Europe. So, like myself, I will be studying in the UK, in France, and in Poland. And so other scholars get to study in a couple of countries. And also the degrees that we get are joint master's degrees. For some scholars, they will study in 4 countries, some 3, but at least 2 countries. And so the beauty of this is that it helps you. It's very adventurous, so you get to travel to different countries, learn different cultures, appreciate Europe, and also get to network with people across Europe, and also build meaningful contacts that will go on help you further in your career. Yeah, so certainly that's basically it from my end.
Okay, I
But
believe
I
you
would,
said
yeah,
everything.
no, that's just basically from my end. So
Yeah,
I would
actually, yeah,
just
yeah.
appreciate if my mentor Kudirat can just say something to
Kudirat,
add
I
to
heard a lot
that.
of people call you mentor, like prior before we came for this
She's
live.
our mentor.
I also hear that you're the face of Erasmus Mundus Nigeria 2022. Please, it's a pleasure to have you in this call. Please kindly expatiate on your ambassadorship of Erasmus. Yes, thank you, ma.
So like I said earlier, Erasmus is for everyone. It's for the females, for the males, and it doesn't make you ineligible because of your age, because you already have a master's degree, because you already have a PhD already. It doesn't limit you to not apply for Erasmus. So, and like I said, it gives you opportunity to learn in different universities. Like I said earlier, for me, I'll be studying in 2 universities, in the UK and in Germany. Like my mentor said, he'll be studying in 3 universities. So Abubakar will be studying in 4. The least number of universities where you can study is 2. And
Okay.
to give you opportunity to meet students from various parts of the world, and also study under different lecturers from different parts of the world too. For instance, for me, I studied forestry during my bachelor's, and the forest we are familiar with in Nigeria, in Africa, they are tropical forests.
Okay.
But here we are studying, and we are focusing on temperate forests, which is different from what I'm used to. So I have to learn. So in UK too, they might have not been there. They might have a different forest too. So it gives you these opportunities that you cannot have if you study in just one university. Yeah.
Oh, amazing, amazing. So, are you saying that for me that I'm studying one university, I don't have what you people
You
have?
cannot. You cannot. So that's the fact. That's the fact. You
All
cannot.
right, I concede. That's fine. I concede. Please, if
Yeah.
you are just joining us, this is the Erasmus Mundus scholarship application cycle, and we are talking about everything. We just mentioned what the scholarship is and what it means for somebody out there. And if you have a question, people are sending me a message personally. Please drop the question in the comment section. All of us can see it. And when it's time for question and answers, I will bring the question up. Or when we are in the middle of the conversation, I'll bring the question on, and any scholar can actually attend to it. So 2 people have actually talked about what Erasmus is. I don't know if they covered everything. Is there something any other scholar want to add? Please just kindly unmute yourself and say something. If there is something you want to add as pertain that very question on what is Erasmus.
I'd like to add something. Yeah, I think my course is cyber. That's the theme. It's
Yeah.
a new course, and there's something special about the course that I don't think I've seen anywhere, which is a combination of two backgrounds per se, human behavior background and exact engineering and exact sciences, engineering background. So it's like bringing two different people from different perspective, and then it's a teamwork thing, like the two people, one person from each group, from human behavior, like someone who read psychology or psychiatry, then combined with an engineering person, IT, and what have you, computer science person, and then you come together to bring about a digital solution to healthcare. It's mind blowing. It's really
Wow.
amazing. You can only find this in Erasmus. I tell
Oh
you.
wow, you
So
guys are
that's
making
what I
me
want to
jealous.
say.
No way. I cannot be jealous. It's all right. So my next question is going to Abubakar.
Oh
And
yeah, can I add a bit from the previous question?
yes, please go ahead.
So okay, I want to elaborate further and the meaning of Erasmus. So as someone who have studied in Europe, like even for my bachelor's degree, Erasmus it's simply like a program which is in the framework of the European Union. So there are like different programs, not just the master's program under the Erasmus. So like there are exchange programs, there are volunteering programs. So, but under this same Erasmus, this master's programs are being established, and these programs are usually established by like universities. So, no, it also the European Union doesn't establish these programs themselves, but rather they fund these programs. So universities, like consortium universities, get to form these programs, organize the mobilities, and then get those connections, and then apply for funding, and then the European Union gets to approve the funding, and that is how students get the funding, even the professors, and then continue. The same way we apply for the scholarship is the same way the universities are also applying for the funding, like in the European in the entire Erasmus program. So as I can read from like something I have documented, it says Erasmus program, which is the European Community Action Scheme for Mobility of University Students, which is like the general name, is a European Union student exchange program established in 1987. So it says that it is the new program combining all EU's current schemes for education, training, youth support, which was started in January 2024. So if I could remember, even back in Hungary, there were still students not under the same Erasmus, but not the Erasmus Mundus Masters program, like going to other countries in Europe to study for one semester, and they get the same fund, like they get funded, like they get funding from the EU as well, but not the same, exactly the same as the Erasmus Mundus. So Erasmus Mundus is established with like is strictly masters, but still under the same free Erasmus Plus framework. And these are like very specialized masters, and they are joint masters where you can get, for some masters program, I think they get a joint masters, but there are cases where you get a separate master, like complete, like in my case, I'm going to get a complete different degree in Finland, which is a computer science master's, and then I'm going to get a master's in artificial intelligence in France, and I'm going to get a master's of engineering in Japan. So there are like programs that award different master's degrees, and then there are some programs that award you like a joint master's degree, like combined with all the courses or like all the universities you've visited. So I think that is just what I wanted to add from the already.
Wow, that was very elaborate. Honestly, if I didn't know about scholarship, I would have come back to listen to what you just said, because you mentioned Erasmus Plus, you mentioned Erasmus Mundus, and then you mentioned Erasmus as a body, and all of those things kind of complicated for somebody who is new into scholarship. So if I was new into scholarship, like my listeners, if this is your first time of hearing about Erasmus, it's kind of seemingly complicated, but I would love you to come back and watch this video so that you can there's a different thing when you hear somebody say the same thing all over again.
Exactly, yes.
So my next question was, because Kudirat mentioned that there is no age limit to Erasmus, no male-female segregation, so it's actually an inclusive thingy. So I want to ask, who is eligible to apply for Erasmus Mundus Scholarship? Donatus, if you can hear me, unmute yourself, turn on your video, and answer the question, please.
Hello? Good evening.
Yeah, she was.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, so I don't know what happened to him. I think two people were talking from his background. So Precious, please, can you kindly answer that question? Who is actually eligible for Erasmus Mundus? Who is eligible to apply for this scholarship?
Like Kudirat said earlier, there are no age restrictions, and many times, provided you have a first degree, like an undergraduate degree, you can apply. However, people who are also in their final year of study can apply. I think last year I know someone from the University of Nigeria who applied when she was in her final year. But I think there are some conditions. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Okay, provided that at the time of maybe like at the time you are awarded you're awarded the scholarship, or at the time before you commence your studies, provided your bachelor's degree will be ready. But you can apply from your final year in the university. The other scholars can correct me if I'm wrong. So from final year you can apply, and also provided you have like a first degree, like an undergraduate degree. Then there are different requirements for the different programs. As viewers would have noticed, everybody here is on one program on the other. So there are some specific requirements particular to different programs. Depending on the program, some programs require you to be from a particular field or to have studied particular courses to qualify. Yes, and some other programs will require you to write IELTS exams and all of that. But that's specifically for that. So there are also like for the Erasmus Mundus, there are program countries and partner countries. I can't remember which one Nigeria is now. Maybe one of the scholars can remind me. But I think we are a partner country. So for the program country, people who have lived like outside Nigeria for I think more than 12 months would have to apply under the program country pathway. So provided you have an undergraduate degree. So, and if you live in Nigeria, or if you've lived outside Nigeria for more than 12 months, you can also apply. I hope this answers the question.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Now you just mentioned about living outside the country or not. Abubakar, you said you did your undergraduate degree in Europe. Did that in any way affect your application? Do you think it was a considerable factor when you applied for this Erasmus Mundus, seeing that you did your outside the program?
Exactly. Yes. So the scholarship, I think, is specifically I think structured in a way. I think it is going to attract, I think, internationals, not specifically the Europeans, but like there's obviously no limitations for like it's also like the European citizens. So as for me, who have studied in Europe for I think more than 4 years, and I have lived in Europe for the 12 months, which was the rule to apply as a program country applicant. Even though my citizenship is that of the partner country, but then I had to apply as a program country applicant because of the 12-month rule. So the categories have different allocation of scholarship. Most of the times when you have like a 20 scholarships allocations, then I think about 15 or 16 goes for the partner, and then 5 most of the times, or even 3 goes for the program country, because they feel like they're already like, if you're coming from Europe, you have already experienced education in Europe, so I mean they would rather give the opportunity for the people coming from the partner country. So the program countries are like mostly countries in the EU, not strictly just the EU, but like countries that are in the program. For example, like Turkey is not in the EU, but Turkey is a program country because there are some program that has Turkey as part of their mobilities. So I think that is how it is. And then one other question I also wanted to answer about, like just like Precious mentioned, that you can apply for the scholarship even before you graduate. Yes, because I applied even before I had my bachelor's degree, and I even had my residence permit even before I graduated from the university in Hungary. So yes, you can apply even if you are in your final, provided you're going to be able to provide your bachelor's degree certificate before resuming for the program.
Okay, thank you very much. So Donatus, please, can you put on your video? Can you kindly put on your video? Your video is on.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm actually on transit. Going I did the wrong how will I say? I did the wrong transcription of the time zone, so I never knew that it's going to be happening so soon. That was how I put off my camera for a while. So I'm actually approaching my house, and I hope to put it on what's happening. Yeah.
All right, no worries. Take your time. We have other questions.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Stephanie, the next question goes to you. I hope you can hear me and we can hear you. Please say something to ascertain that fact. Oh, dear Lord. I don't know what's going on with her with her stream. She just keep
So,
popping up and going
so I'll love to add something as well.
Okay, please.
Okay, for Erasmus Mundus application, you have the opportunity under the Erasmus Plus, you have the opportunity to apply for as many programs that are related to your discipline. Initially, it was maximum of 3, but right now you can apply for maybe up to 10 if they are related to your experience or initial previous study. So I'd love to add that. Yeah.
That leads me to my next question. You just mentioned something like previous study. Okay, for example, I studied civil engineering in my bachelor's degree, but in my master's degree, I'm currently studying big data and digital futures. Does that mean that if I want to apply for Erasmus Mundus, I cannot swap from civil engineering to another course, or it has to be focused on what I did on my undergraduate degree? How does it work, please?
So I mentioned either your previous study or your previous experiences. Maybe you've switched after your degree. You're now working with an organization that focus on your intended study. Maybe you have the chance to apply. But for me, it was forestry, then forestry. So I have people from India that studied environmental sciences, that studied botany, that are now for sustainable forestry as well. That means maybe they have some experiences or some online courses that are, yeah, exactly.
But the courses you just mentioned, environmental and botany, they are all related to forestry one way or the other because they have to do with trees and every other thing. So
They have to
I'm
do
trying
with
to get a
plants,
case
not
study
trees.
of plants. I'm trying
Plants,
to get a case study of a total different course. You need, like my case, civil engineering, big data. Nothing is related. Like I don't have any course module that was related in my undergraduate and postgraduate.
Oh.
Say anything like that in Erasmus?
Maybe the God factor too is there. Maybe you can.
Yes, yeah.
You guys should join one like
Honestly,
because
yeah.
it's a question a lot of people are asking. You know where we are
That's
coming from.
you maybe I can say.
I like to say something about that.
Yes, please.
So it is possible, but it just means that you have to demonstrate why they should give you. Although Erasmus really like puts like, how do I say it? Like there are grading systems or like criteria that they look out for. So usually maybe for the relevance of your undergraduate degree to your program that you're applying for, that can be 20 marks or 30 marks out of 100. So if you're able to, maybe if you now have higher marks in other things, because they also look out your motivation, maybe your work experience. So if you're able to gather enough marks in other areas that can now make up for it and you still top. So the chances are still there. It's possible, especially where you have immersed work experience and maybe you've taken short diploma courses that can make up for it and you're able to demonstrate that you qualify, then there is a chance for you. I don't know if this is related, but I don't really think this course is very related. I know someone who studied urban and regional planning, and now he's doing geospatial technology. They are not exactly related. So it depends. Although Erasmus may probably want to, give more preference to someone who has like the same background degree, but it all depends on how the marks rank. Then I just want to quickly add, yes, you can apply for as many courses as possible, but I think you should just check with your program, because even though that changed for my program, there was still that limit. Provided you're applying to my program, you only was allowed or is allowed to apply for only 3 programs. So yes, there's a change in the rules that you can apply for as many as you want, but just check that your program does not restrict that.
Okay, please kindly, dear scholars, when you want to mention your program, please mention your program again so that people that are listening, we have different programs. Like when you say your program, I know you are doing law, but this is how it is called in Erasmus. Just kindly mention it so that people that are listening will actually know that this is what you're talking about. Thank you very much. So we will go to the next question, and I want to come like this. I know there is a program called NCIS, and that program requires a written personal statement and a video personal statement. Is it applicable to all Erasmus program, or is just dentist alone? Why do they do that? And yeah, is there other Erasmus program that is? Anybody can answer the question, please.
All right. So, like we said earlier, that every Erasmus program has specific requirements for them. So it's important for whoever is applying to check in with the program to know what works. Because if I give you, let's say tips on what will work in European public health, it will not apply if you're applying for Glocal, for instance. So for my program, it was just motivation letter only. And I think of all the Erasmus programs, it's only European public health, which we did not do an interview. So it's only the motivation letter that was the 600 words and then all other things you submitted. And that is it. That's just all. So different programs have different requirements. So whoever is applying should check in with the program to ensure that they are meeting the specific requirement for that specific program. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Amazing. So in other words, Erasmus Mundus Scholarship requires interview. Okay, that is a good point to note. You mentioned personal statement, and most of the scholarship, that is the heart of scholarship. If you don't get your personal statement right, it means that you are not ready. So like, this is the peak of this conversation, this roundtable discussion, and the face of Erasmus, you are the one that is going to start this conversation. What should be in a personal statement? Is it personal statement or SOP that Erasmus call it? What exactly do they call it? But what should be there? What should contain in an SOP that is submitted to Erasmus scholarship?
All right. Like you said earlier, requirements is a function of the programs. They differ. So I will use the instance of SUFONEMA, Sustainable Forest and Nature Management.
That sounds like somebody's name. I was like, what's that?
On my second program, European Forestry.
Yeah.
I applied for both and I won both. So for SUFONEMA, the requirements include motivation letter, IELTS score, test score, and other things. And the motivation letter has been specified to be on just a page. So people should just try to follow instructions strictly. But for the European forestry, there was no requirements like the motivation letter. It was, I'll call it an essay question. Some application come with essay questions too, with word limits, or maybe the word limit with character, like 500 characters or 1,000 characters. That is different from number of words. So for European forestry, it was just a very short write-up to directly answer the questions given. Motivation, but for motivation letter, I can say for motivation letter, people should try to follow these templates. They should start from introduction. That's when we have their names, their previous studies, and what they've done. And the second paragraph because there is no one way to writing all these documents. So they should try to write the experiences they have that are related to the intended programs, like the internships, the online courses, but they should not mention examples, just few examples, because everything will appear on the CV and on the transcripts. They should try to write their previous experiences that are related to the program, and also what they are doing presently that is related to the program. And finally, on the last paragraph, they should write their future plan.
Okay, career plans. Okay.
Exactly. Their post graduation plan. They should try to put that. And they should try to make emphasis on why they need the Erasmus scholarship. Because I can write a motivation letter now without mentioning the Erasmus scholarship. So by doing so, I can be given the admission and not the scholarship You understand that?
Okay.
Some people, will be given the admission and not the scholarship. They should make emphasis on the need for the scholarship, like to make my dreams come true, like something like that.
Yeah.
I need this scholarship because I'm financially disadvantaged.
Yeah.
I'm an indigent student. Not that word, but there are ways to write it.
Okay.
So that's what the motivation letter will contain: your experiences, everything about you. And also, I would like to talk about plagiarism. I don't understand why plagiarism will come when we have to write our personal stories. People
Yeah.
should not plagiarize. Should be very careful. I think that's all. Just follow the instructions on the application page strictly.
All right. Thank you very much. So, Stephanie, please, can you hear me? Please unmute yourself. Oh my God. I can't hear her. Can anybody else hear her? Oh, nobody can hear you, Stephanie. Please, what's going on? Do you want to switch to another device? I'm so sorry about the inconvenience. Precious, you're saying something. She unmuted herself, but we still couldn't hear her. Okay. Okay. Apparently, Mrs. Olua Tobiloba, Kudirat actually talked a lot about personal statement, but I bet that I think she omitted because yes, that is what personal statement is. People always omit things one way or the other. Please, can you kindly just throw more light to what should be included in personal statement or statement of purpose?
Okay. For my own what's it called? For the course I applied for, the platform or the application platform is actually different from what she talked about. For cyberspace behavior and e-therapy, it's basically about, it asks all the questions, like you have to input all your answers. Some were 1,000 character words without space. Like you can't put space within the words, everything must be together.
Are
without
you kidding
space.
Me? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
1,000 words without space. Some were 500 words without space. So all these things, I think those are the major things. You just have to follow the instructions into detail. And one of the things that they asked in cyber was, why are you applying for this course? Why, what are your future plans after this course? Why are you interested in this course? And the statement of, the statement of purpose basically is not really it's like writing. It's not the same way like her own. It's like they are asking you what motivates you, why you are interested in this course, basically. And then there is another platform after the whole write-up that talks about Erasmus Mundus Scholarship information. And it asks you that as a student of cyber Erasmus Mundus Masters course, I wish to. So it is under it that you now say apply for the scholarship. If you do not answer that line, that means you are not interested. Like if you mistakenly omit that line, then the scholarship is not for you. So you have to, it has all the questions there. And then why do you think you should benefit from this scholarship? So you just have to answer, okay, the reason why I would like to benefit from this scholarship is because it's not like the way I wrote it was like, okay, it's not like I am entitled to this. I just implore. It's just like I beseech, all those kind of language and all. So there are different lines and different. In fact, I think recently I went back to how I applied and what I wrote, and I was laughing at myself, like, okay, did I actually? So I think one of the, like she said your personal story. One of the juice parts about this thing is the fact that you sit down yourself and you think about it. It's an inspiration. Yeah, that's the word. It's an inspiration. When it comes to writing these stuffs, you have to sit down, think about it, think about your life. You have to be sincere. It's not like a joking this thing. You really need to be sincere and see how it applies to your life, and then it will flow by the time you start writing. So there's no need to copy and paste from the internet. So no need, don't do plagiarism. It can limit your application, it can reduce your application. So thank you.
I just want to throw more light on that plagiarism. Because in my school, my course demands programming. So, sometimes there's how you are programming and your head is touching and you're like, no, I can't do this. I have to go and copy this code from somewhere. If you copy a code and put in your code and submit in your assessment and they use Turnitin and they track you, you are going to face disciplinary committee. Is that bad? I'm talking about coding or coding lines, let alone assessment that you are writing. If they catch you, we took a whole course module on plagiarism in this school so that you will not say you did not know. You do not say this and that and all of that. So if they are doing that to students that are already present on ground, how much more about you that is trying to get in? So our advice is forget about anything like plagiarism. Don't give somebody your essay to write for you because they are going to know it. I don't know how they know it, but they shall just know it. And don't copy somebody's essay and don't ask a scholar for its essay. It is wrong. It's before you even started, it is wrong. So please don't do that. Abubakar, please, your own perspective of writing a personal statement, because like I said, this is the heart of every scholarship. If you get this wrong, I don't know, you cannot serve out yourself. So what do you think should actually be included in a personal statement when you're applying for scholarship?
Okay. I would advise based on what I actually did in my application. So for me, what I did was majorly to read about the objective of the program and try to tailor the objective of the program to my motivation, like why I was applying for the program. And because that is what they are looking for. Like these scholarships are they're not expecting back anything from you after giving you the scholarship. So at the end they have an objective to achieve by giving you the scholarship. So what are those objectives? You have to be able to understand, just like my boss said in Sika, he said these programs are very different from each other. So you have to check with your own program and then check what is required. There are usually templates for these motivation letters. There are even some that ask you strictly just questions, just like an AC questions. For me, most of my applications were just questions and then some limitations with the characters, just like every other person mentioned here. So I think it is best to check on your program specifically to be sure what you are supposed to mention in the AC. But it is also very essential. You know about the program, you study about the program, and then you try to at least mention something in your SOP that is going to be connected to the objective of the program.
Okay, thank you very much. Sika, I don't know if you have something to add to that. But before you say something,
okay.
Our dear listeners, we are actually very glad to have you here. And if you are enjoying this session and you actually love what we are doing here, kindly share the link to your friends and family to join us, because this is an opportunity for everybody. I always tell people scholarship can change your life. And this is one scholarship that has the potential of changing every part of your life. The way you think, the way you see things, your perspective. It gives you an opportunity to learn and relearn and unlearn. So while you do that, like this video, drop a comment, and also subscribe to this channel. Yes, Sika, please continue.
All right. So I would just build on what my colleagues have said. So for me, for my program, it was specific that we had a motivation letter, which the word limit was 600 words. And if you're into the business of writing essays, you know that 600 words is not a lot. It's just very little. So what I did is I used the STAR approach. I don't know if a couple of people know of the STAR approach, which you can always use in making your applications. Now, one thing I did is I had to look at the course content, for the my school in Poland, because we had to focus our application on the program we'll be doing in the second year. So that is why we said that different programs have different requirements. For some, it could be, you do for both the first year, the second year, or where you'll be doing, but ours was just concentrate your application around the second year program, like the second year university alone. So for that, I had to look at the school. So what do they do? What are the programs? In fact, I even went ahead as looking at the lecturers. I had to search for them on LinkedIn. I looked at their profiles. I knew what they were doing. So even when I was in my application, I mentioned their names in my application. Yeah, I went that far. So even if you are reviewing my essay, you would know that, okay, I went the length. Now, why is it? Is for my program, in the last 3 years, they selected only one person, like one person each year from Nigeria. So that's to show you that my program is very highly competitive. It's just this year that we had 3 persons. So I'm the only person from Nigeria in Sheffield, and then the other 2 are in Ireland. So you just had to look for something that would just make it outstanding. So I come back to the STAR approach. So for me, I started with the situation. So I looked at the problem, which I've been working on recently. Then I looked at, okay, so what was the task? What was the action? What did I do? What were the actions? What were the things I was doing to address that problem? And then what were the results? Okay, so I saw this problem. This was what I had to do. I did this, and then these were the results. Now, after that, I was like, okay, so I've done this, but then there's a need to do more. So I now started talking about why I needed the program to help me achieve more. So mentioning, okay, so this is why I'm taking this program. These are my modules. I want to learn from this particular lecturer because he heads so and so department. And then at the end of it, I also included like what I would get out from the program and also what I would also give back into the because there's really this thing about people who give scholarships. So they want to also see your own contribution. So it needs to be mutual. So for me, it was a place of knowledge sharing. So I've worked in the development space for a while. So for me, it's also sharing these things. And I must tell you that I do that a lot in my class. In fact, in my program, I would say I'm one of the most popular person in my program because everybody knows Nsika.
You don't need to say your
exactly. No, no, I just have to say it because these things we have, like these things I've done over and over in class are the things which I bring into practice. So as we have the theories, I'm like, oh, I did this. So this is how it's applied. Because there are many people in my program who just came directly from academics. They've not been in the public health space before. So when they see the connect that, oh, this was applied here and it worked. So it really helps them know better. So that's my own contribution to the program, which I also included in my statement, and also God factor. So
of course. Okay, for the people that are watching, if you don't know what STAR approach means situation, task, action, and result. So it's like, what was the situation? What action did you... Okay, the situation means what was the problem. The A means action, means what action did you take? If you say you took action, what was the task, and then what was the result? Now, some people go ahead and add the L, which means TAL. So the lessons learned. What were the lessons that you learned? I think one important factor while writing a statement of purpose is actually not only what you're going to get, but actually what are you going to give back. So I'm going to ask a question, Stephanie, if you are going to hear me, because Sikak says his own was just 600 words, and he mentioned a lot of things like going to the point of mentioning lecturer's name. Did you also add the skills that you already had that were beneficial or that will stand you out in the master's program? Did you add that to your essay? Dear Lord, Stephanie, I don't know what France is doing to you. They don't want you to speak French to us today. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, network is bad.
The network is bad. Oh my God, I'm so sorry too. All right, Precious, please, can you add that? Did you talk about your skill set?
Yeah, so I just even wanted to add something also on the what's it called? Motivation letter thing, because like they said, each program is different. So with regards to the international law of global security, and yes, adding your skill set is very key, apparently. So for the international law of global security, peace and development, there were already pointers. They told you what they wanted to see in your motivation letter. They were like they said, oh, these are the list of things. So there are already pointers that would, help you. And some of them included, oh, what motivates you for this, as in what motivates you to choose this program.
Yeah.
And another was, what is your suitability? So in this place, you probably want to mention maybe your degree, your work experience, your skill sets. And then they said, okay, what practice aims, like future goals? I mean, how does this fit into your practice aims for the future? And they also asked about like possible research questions that you're looking towards. So in my program, the fact that you were indigent or can't afford was not a consideration for them. They just wanted to see that you were suitable and you had the necessary, I don't know what, for the program.
Okay.
And also, like Insikak said, you should demonstrate a knowledge of the program and apply it to your situation. In my own case, for example, just like Insikak said, we have like a specialization in your second year. So not everybody will go to the same university in their second year. So you choose your particular specialization. So I chose my own specialization based on certain things, and I was able to demonstrate it. Thirdly, and most importantly, your motivation letter should just be unique. Like, just tell your story, personalize it. For me, I used to share motivation letter. I've shared my motivation letter with some people because I feel like you cannot copy it. Because as in Kosim Koto share that you can copy it because it's so personalized. You cannot copy what is there. So that is why you should just tell your story in such a powerful way that reflects to the program. And in my case, for example, okay, I had written a B1 exam for French and all. So there was a particular pathway in my program that required you to be able to speak French because they were going to teach in French. In French. So like that was like one of the personal ways that I demonstrated, okay, why I was choosing that program. And aside the fact that I put, the French, whatever, there were also other like personal things. So most importantly, tell your stories. I've been able to review some people's, personal statement, and I realized that many of them just repeat what the program is all about. The people already know what their program is about. Focus on adding or showing, demonstrating how your personal experience, your skill set, and how you yourself match what their program is about. So like make it punchy. Those very nice things that that will catch the person's attention. And what else did I even write here? Yeah, basically just answer the question. Write about what motivates you, why you are suitable, your practice aims or future aims. Yeah. And that's basically it.
Amazing. I think that you guys really gave deep insight into actually how to approach the personal statement. I'm really grateful for that. If I'm looking for a scholarship, I will really take what you have said and actually put into practice. Stephanie, are you back? Can you hear us? Can you say something? Okay. Finally, the Lord is good. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question that is different from what other scholars have said because I feel you people have actually answered that personalized question. And the question is going to be, am I required to learn these languages? For example, she would go to a country that speaks French. You're in France. Mrs. is in Portugal. Somebody's in Germany. Kudirat is in Germany, etc., etc. This guy is going to Poland and all of those things. Is it a requirement that I must learn the language of the track that I choose? Must I do that? But before you answer that question, oh my dear Lord, she is out again. All right. Okay. But before anybody answer that question, I don't know. Abu Bakar, I want
Yes.
is there a way you can prepare actually how to navigate the Erasmus Mundus page? Because most of people questions in my DM is the page is complicated. They don't know what to do. When they just get in there, they get lost. I'm like, I haven't applied to this scholarship. I don't even know what is there. I don't know what happens in and I tried opening it, and trust me, it's complicated. So yeah, I don't know if you can do that. But before you do that, just take your time and prepare for it. Can somebody answer the question? Do I need to learn the language of the track that I am preparing for?
Okay, sorry. Let me just say that it depends on the program again.
Okay.
Because different program, different things. Now, for the European Masters of Public Health, for the second year specialization, we have about we have about 6 different specializations. So
Okay.
so depending on the specialization you go for, you're going to know the language you'll be taking there. So for me, so the first year, I'm doing mine here in the UK. There's some persons that are doing their first year in Granada, Spain, which the language which you would use to study is Spanish. So if you're taking Spanish as your first year, that means you need to know how to speak Spanish to take that. Now, for the second year specialization, I'm going to Poland, but then the course will be taught in English. So that is why I went for that. Now, we have different specialization. We have health promotion. Health promotion will be in Granada. We have governance of European health systems in Netherlands. We have biostatistics and epidemiology, which is in France, and a couple of these programs in different schools having different languages which are taught. So I think for Precious, the second school, like where she's going for second year, I think the course is taught in French. So if you will be studying in French, you need to know how to speak French. So still different program, different specialization, different requirement.
So are you saying that, for example, I don't know how to speak any other language proficiently except English and my tribal language, but I know how to say gracias, merci beaucoup in all of those languages across. So if I put in an application with the hope that, with the God factor that if I'm selected, I will use the 1 year to the time that this will be out, or is that risky? Can I just try because there's Duolingo to learn languages and every other thing? Would you advise somebody to try applying and make sure the person learn the language prior to the time, or must I learn the language before I even think of applying? Just give somebody
different programs, different specialization. For some persons, like for those that had to do their theirs in Granada, Spain, you have to provide a proficiency certificate that you're proficient, like you can speak Spanish before you're going there. So that is what would let them know that, okay, you can speak and you would be able to learn. So it is not that you're going there to go and learn Spanish. It is that this program is offered in Spanish and you can speak Spanish, you can understand Spanish to learn.
Interesting.
Different programs again, different specialization, different requirement.
Okay. Precious, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. I think generally like 90% of the programs on the Erasmus catalog teach in English, except otherwise stated. So most of them are in English, and you wouldn't have a problem surviving, except that you may eventually prefer, or it would be better for you to just learn some of the language so you can like be able to interact more freely when you go to the supermarket. Because if you want to buy things, milk, sugar, all these things are written in Spanish, like all the descriptions. So I mean, to be able to survive more easily, it may favor you to learn.
To the rescue, because no way.
But the main language itself is usually taught in English, except the program expressly says so. It is only one program that I know of that it was said that it was taught in English, but they're actually teaching them in Slovene. Can other scholars there remind us of that program? Where they said they were going to teach them
Informatics Plus.
So I'm wondering prospective.
Very crazy.
So I'm wondering prospective people who are applying to that course. They said it was going to be in English, but I don't know why they are now teaching them in Slovene. The scholar there has been complained, so I think that's the only course you can avoid. The rest are usually in English, except expressly stated or that. So
we are going to take a few questions before we actually okay, but please say something.
I wanted to add something a bit. So yes, just like previous scholars mentioned, yes, it's just I think a few programs requires you to have like a proficiency in some different languages that are not English for you to be eligible. Like for masters, I think of mechatronics engineering, yes, it is required that you need to speak an international language. I don't remember the exact languages, but you need a language apart from English to be eligible for the program. And again, for my program specifically, it happens that, Japanese is not required when you are applying for the scholarship, but it is mandatory to like study Japanese, and we have to pass Japanese like along the line of moving between the semesters and the mobilities. Yeah, I think about 15 credits are dedicated just for Japanese every semester until we get to Japan. And I think if you speak Japan, it is supposed to be an advantage for you to get into the program, as I know quite a few students right now in my class that speak Japan, and it was an advantage for them to get the scholarship. So yes, it wasn't a requirement, but then it was an advantage for them to get into the program because it had Japan.
Amazing. So Scholar Donatus, you are kindly welcome to the session. If you can hear me, please can you use 1 minute to introduce yourself, your program, and where your mobility cut across? 1 minute, sir.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Donatus Sosemuya. I'm a student of the Erasmus International Masters in South European Studies, Euros, and my mobility countries are across the UK, Athens, Greece, and Madrid in Spain. Thank you.
Okay. You're in UK, but I don't know where network is breaking. It's breaking my heart that we are having network issues like this. What is going on? Please, you people, you don't have network problems.
I don't understand. I don't understand. It's just strange. I don't know. It's my first time of using this platform anyway. Perhaps, maybe, I don't know. I think Zoom and Google Meet should be better because it has been giving me issue. I'm even managing with my phone. My desktop is.
This is YouTube. It doesn't. I use YouTube for all my programs, and it's very stressless. It doesn't have to be your first time or not. The first time I used it, I was in Nigeria. I didn't have the problem, so maybe it could be a location thing or something. Oh, okay.
Yeah, perhaps. I'm not actually in a very good place too in UK. I'm just in Glasgow. So
Glasgow is a good place, Donatus. Don.
No, it's not actually the best place in UK if you want to talk about some. Yeah, we have London now. We have UK people like you that are close to London and like. So we have better places in the UK where you can have better network experiences compared to us that somewhere, So
okay. Shout out to Pavan Kumar from India. He's saying he's an Implant Plus aspirant. We wish you the very best. So we would take just 1 or 2 questions before we come down to actually how to navigate that stubborn Erasmus website, because even myself, I want to know how to navigate that website. This is very, very serious. Okay, so we have a question. What is the eligibility criteria? I think we answered that already. Check your program. It is actually different for every program. Check your catalogs of your program, you will see the eligibility criteria for that. Okay, they said, is the session recorded? Yeah, I think so. Yes, not I think so. The session is recorded. It will be on this channel immediately after this. The next question is, please, what are the requirements needed to apply? I want to apply for Masters in Architecture. Please, is there any program that covers architecture in the Erasmus series? I don't know.
Well, maybe not exactly architecture, but there will be courses. I know that there are 2 courses because I had a friend who studied architecture and was looking for an architecture related course. I can't remember, but he mentioned something about, maybe I can quickly check my WhatsApp now and come back, but something about architectural structures or something. But just check the catalog. You may not see it expressly written Masters in Architecture, but you will see something that you see programs that or courses that require people who have a degree in architecture to apply.
Okay.
Just check the catalog, and Abubakar will be telling us how to navigate the catalog soon.
Yes, that's true. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I think also from the catalog there's a program called ALA, so Architecture, Landscape, and Archaeology. So anyone in architecture can go for that program, and the project locations is in Italy, Portugal, and Greece.
Okay, great. So the next question is, what time of the year is application usually open?
Now.
Okay, how long does it last, please? Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
It actually
depends on the program.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, can you give a range of time? I know some programs start September to January or March or something like that, please.
So it depends on program. So some are open present currently, and the deadline will be stated on the application portal, and some will open very soon. Some will open in December, and the deadline too will be stated on the portal. So it depends on the application you are interested in.
Okay. So the next question says, can I start application and close the portal to continue another day? Is there save in progress button?
Yes.
No.
And it's not
For
dependent
some.
For mine, yes.
For some.
For some, anyways, let's say
Yeah.
for some.
For
Yeah,
Sufonoma,
for mine too.
I was able to do that. But for European forestry, you have to do everything at once. So you have to go in and see what you have to do, then go back and do it once and submit. So
Wow.
it depends on the program. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah,
very
and
much.
also you may
Yeah.
not need to do everything at like once like that. Like once you go in and you see the things you need, you then take all the time to gather all your documents and then log back in when you have everything and do at once.
Oh, okay. Amazing. All right. So the next question says, I want to know if someone here is doing public health and if they require IELTS. Okay. Isikak, the
All
boss.
right, so I am doing public health, and so the thing is this: IELTS was compulsory. In fact, it is compulsory for my program, except you have schooled already in a, let me say, outside in an English-speaking country. Before now, that is when you're not required to, show IELTS. But unfortunately, I had to write IELTS. So
I don't
despite
think it's
speaking
unfortunate.
English,
It's actually a good thing. I wrote myself. So
uh, actually, it's unfortunate. Why? Because I've been speaking English for the past 25 years. So it's unfortunate.
anyways, that's okay. All right.
Can I say something?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, I am not on public health actually, but me, I actually have a testimony concerning this high LTS thing because I was supposed to submit it. I did not. I skipped that part.
Wow.
I think I just put something inside. I can't really remember what I put inside because you're supposed to put every detail at every stage. So I just put something there. I don't have IELTS. So actually they now mailed me. So that's where Grace came in. I was mailed that, okay, submit your high ELTS and then submit CV as well. So I was told to submit my CV as well. So I replied the mail that I do not have IELTS, and we're just going back and forth. So I was told to go and do the IELTS and I should pick the next available date and all that. But I was jittery. And it's not as if maybe I couldn't write the exam, but I wasn't ready to write any exam at that point in time. And I was just praying, God, I don't want this. Can this just be, changed? So for me, Grace changed it for me.
Still here?
2 weeks after I was mailed again that, okay, since was my what's it called, was my BSc English taught? I said yes. Okay, can you get like an English proficiency from your university that it was taught in English and then the equivalent? So that was what I submitted. So Grace worked for me. So I didn't do IELTS.
That's amazing. Truly a nice story, and it really worked. I think your application was very strong, and there were things that compensated for that. Because for my kind of scholarship, I know people that lost their scholarship because they did not have English proficiency. So please go and get your English proficiency if you're on this course. Don't depend on Grace. Grace works, so it worked for me. But I know people that their scholarship was revoked. You don't want to be that person. Your life will be frustrated. Trust me.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I also want to add that I also know someone, especially for this public health, please don't risk it. I know someone that applied, but she did not write IELTS. They did not even review her application. Like there was a special list of people that did not submit IELTS. Those ones, they did not even look at them. So to just be on the safer side, just do it if your course requires it,
Do
except
it.
your course doesn't.
I think it's also important that I state that I know that there is TOEFL and IELTS is the same English proficiency, but different bodies administers it. And also for Erasmus, some courses actually require for TOEFL. And if you submit IELTS, they are not going to accept it. And if you submit TOEFL for IELTS, it's like they don't accept it. So check for your program and actually what they require and submit exactly what they're requesting for. I know this especially for dentists. That program, there's somebody I know that applied for that program. They were like, that should be TOEFL, and you must score 100. And in the writing, you must score nothing less than 20. So those are the details that you actually check for. This English proficiency is a big deal, but please, you don't want to be the scapegoat for it. So somebody asks, can we have a list of courses offered, please? The catalog, I'm going to talk about that. Thank you very much. And Florence say, when is it opening? This question has already been answered. It's open now. So check it. So God's any idea about neuroscience, please? What is that? Is it a course or a thing?
See, I feel that most of the things that have been asked here are already on that catalog. Because if you need a particular program, you just go to where the keyword is. You just type it in there and then do a search. Now, once you search, any program related to that will come out, and you can, check the specific program site for more information on that.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to say that neuroscience is actually related to psychology. Okay. For cyber has this transdisciplinary background thing that says if you have human behavior background. So neuroscience is one of the human behavior background as well, psychiatry, psychology, and then the other part, which is the exact sciences and engineering background, people with computer science, what's it called? Engineering, IT, what have you. So it depends. Just search and you'll be able to see the one that fits into what you're looking for.
Okay, shout out to implant aspirant. I don't know why people are very plenty with this implant thingy, but we shout out to you. You're very welcome. Talk with Mariam. We appreciate you.
The crazy thing about the implant is that Stephanie is an implant scholar, and most of the people that are implant, it's crazy.
Oh my god! And Stephanie's network is like, what is going on here? So somebody's asking any program that covers plant breeding. That question is already answered. Check the catalog, you would see that. Somebody's really appreciating scholars for their selfless service that they're offering to us. Thank you very much. God bless you, all the scholars, for taking out your time to do this. And the person further asked program for pharmacy. That has already been answered with the catalog. The next question says, I have been seeing certificates of residence on my program. What's that and how do I get it, please? I think somebody applying for something environmental, something came into my DM. I was like, I don't know what is that. Please, what is certificate of residence? Did any program require that?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Certificate of residence, it is just a document to prove where you've been living. You've been living for a while. For instance, you can get the document from different organizations, but I think the easiest place to get it, there are many places to get it, but I think the court is very easy. Everybody can go to the court to get the documents. It is not expensive.
Okay, can somebody get the document from, because I did a little research.
You can get it from a local government secretariat too.
Okay, can somebody get it from, if you're working, can your office issue a document that they are currently working in this country? Is that valid? Is that tenable for Erasmus?
Most times Erasmus do come out with a list of places where you can get the document. So most of the times you see courts and the local government offices, you see them there. But if you see your workplace, you can go for it.
Okay.
Just follow instructions.
Yeah, I think an example is for those living in Lagos, there's something called LASRA.
Okay, LASRA.
Lagos State Residential Area Permit and all that. So if you live in Lagos, there is LASRA, Lagos State Residential thing. So you just go to local government and apply for it, and then you get it.
Thank you.
And most times too, Erasmus come with a list of information they want to see on the document.
Okay.
So try to make sure all of the information are listed.
Ambassador, this your Erasmus is complicated. Oh, it's already giving me chills. What's going on here? Please talk to your people when they send that survey to ask you what is this. Tell them the truth that it's too complicated.
It is not. It is not. It's just
Okay, the scholar is saying it's not complicated. Don't mind me, oh, please just follow the scholars. It's not complicated. You can do it. Them they did it. Somebody is asking any course on development studies.
Please
Okay,
check the catalog. Check the catalog. You will find it there.
okay.
okay,
I
Check.
will share the
Check.
link to the catalog. Maybe you can post it.
okay, yes, please. You can send it on
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
Yeah. I think if you can share the link to the catalog on the live chats, you can
Okay.
check there.
Okay, please can someone speak on Erasmus Master for Geospatial Technologies, language specialization and countries? That has been covered extensively for every courses on Erasmus. So I think, yeah, that's already been done. Please, what is IELTS? Okay, I don't want to be the one to talk about it. Donatus, please, what is IELTS?
Actually, IELTS refers to the British Administers English Proficiency Test, and it is an acronym for International English Language Testing System. What it basically tests is it tests an individual's ability in terms of English proficiency with regards to writing skill, your speaking skill, your listening skill, and they actually four bands that they test just like TOEFL. The implication is that you pass these exams and use them as a justification that you are a proficient speaker of the English language, and it's now a basis upon which program assess your suitability in terms of language proficiency and other kind of admission related considerations. It's just the direct opposite of TOEFL, which is the test of English as a foreign language. But the IELTS is administered by the British government, and the TOEFL is actually housed by the US government. So that's just the difference between them. And of course, you have to be very careful not to write TOEFL when you're expected to write IELTS, or write IELTS when you're supposed to write TOEFL, because sometimes organizations are very particular about which they want. So you check properly with the program you're applying for, know what exactly they need, and check if there is a waiver conditionality, because actually the programs do waive these conditions. Like myself, my program actually require an English proficiency test, but it was waived on the condition of presenting my SSC. You also check for that. Are there waiver conditions for the programs you're applying for and stuff like that? And of course, sometimes you ask them the questions of why actually are they asking you to provide an IELTS, because sometimes they don't even have a serious justification. These are colonial vestiges that have continued to head through over time, and we are trying to deconstruct them. So you can join the campaign. Why do you ask me to present these results? I'm an English speaker. I've been speaking English since I was born. I studied with English through my life. Why then should I present English proficiency? Then just interrogate. At least that one will make them know over time that, oh, these people are gradually waking up, even if they think that we're in slumber. We are getting started for some kind of changes. So I think the person that asks about, I've been able to do little justice to your exam, just to show that you can speak English, you can write English, and you can understand English.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was very expository. You actually did well. You really answered the question extensively. Thank you so much for that. Okay, somebody's asking, can I have the catalog? I'm joining late. I just dropped the link for the catalog, so you can actually check it now. Festus, yeah. So please, any idea on drug discovery? I don't know what is that. Please, what is drug discovery? Is that a course?
The person should check on the catalog. Just search as a keyword. Yeah.
Okay. Can I apply for the scholarship while I am in my final year of BSc?
Yeah, of course. Can I answer?
Yes, please.
Definitely, you can apply. I think what is basically important is the fact that by the time you will be joining the program, you can tender your transcript and, you can tender your final certificate. In fact, there are some programs that can even admit you without really showing them your certificate. What is important to them is your report card that we usually call transcript in Nigeria. So once you can give them this document, probably from your first year to third year, I think, yeah, you can be considered. Maybe after that, you could tender your certificate or your statement of result to show that you've completed your Bachelor of Science degree studies. It's fine. I actually was chatted recently by a friend on Facebook. She's from Kenya. She was asking me what I'm doing in Glasgow, like if I'm there on the Erasmus class, and I said yes. She said she applied, because at the time she was still in final year, but she only got admitted but wasn't funded. So it's actually possible to apply as a student. It's just to get your report card, which is a transcript in the Nigerian balance, then you apply. It's fine.
Yeah, so for that question, I am also a good example. I got the scholarship without, like, before graduating from my bachelor's program. So I applied just with my transcript, and which there was a statement on my transcript stating that I was going to graduate in July and then resume for the program in September. And then when I came for the when I resumed for the program in Finland, I was just required to present my bachelor's degree certificate. It wasn't even a requirement for me to send it even before. So it was even after I came, I think, in October that we even get to present a certificate. So it was like, it wasn't really a requirement that you have to graduate to apply for it, and it doesn't put you at any disadvantage.
Okay, thank you so much. I am truly enjoying this session. It's very informative and educative. So I think I would, after the next question, we will go straight into the catalog so that we can have extensive time to talk about it before the scholars get tired, because you have done 1 hour, 25, almost 26 minutes in this call with me. And I truly, truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. So after this question, Abubakar, please, you take over. Bonaventure Michael is saying, I'm applying for EPOP Health Plus. It's clear that the most IMPT, I don't know what that means, components for the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters are.
I think it's the most important. The most important.
Okay, please. I don't know why you are a prospective scholar and you are doing this to me. I don't know why you're writing it like this, but okay, I forgive you. Don't worry. The letter of motivation and European Union pass CV curriculum vitae. How can the CVs be 2-page, and what help can you give at review of documents like? Wow, it's an encompassing question. Please, we'll come out to this question after we finish the catalog. Please, can
No. No, I can just answer it because it is my program.
All right.
So for my Europa CV, it was 6 pages.
Oh wow,
oh yeah, it was 6 pages. So it wasn't even 2-page. Oh yeah, it was 6 pages. Because I could not, in fact, if there was a way I could have made it 10 pages, I would have done that. Certainly, because you need to show them that you're good. Yes, exactly.
Is it because your motivation letter was just 600 words? That's why they allowed the allowance in your CV for you to express yourself?
No, there is, because what happened is before I had to go that far, I sent them an email asking if there was any restriction to the number of pages the CV should be, and they said no. So I had to make it 6 pages, because that, in fact, at the time it was almost 7, so I had to reduce it to 6 pages.
My guy, scholar.
The face of
I'm not the face.
Okay, interesting. All right. I hope Bonaventure, I hope you got a response to your question. Abubakar, please kindly take the lead and take us through how to navigate Erasmus Mundus catalog. Thank you.
Okay. First of all, I would like to emphasize that I think if you're applying for the scholarship, each Erasmus Mundus program has 2 different coordinators. At least for my program, my program has the academic coordinator and then the administrative coordinator. And then the administrative coordinator is mainly handling like the application questions like and everything. So I would really emphasize whenever you have like a question with regards to the application, first send it to the administrative coordinator. Then if no response, then you can actually find someone who is on the program to ask him a relevant question. But it's very essential to like get your questions answered from, the entire coordinator. And then secondly, the Erasmus Mundus catalog, I think, is the major website from the European Union whereby all the programs are being uploaded. And then through the website, you can be able to filter out the programs you want to apply for, depending or based on your interests or your background. So I think there's a way to search for a specific, or like to change the filters to either if you're applying for engineering programs or like sciences programs. But then I would always not advise just using the filters all the times, but rather going through all the programs, because the main problem with Erasmus program, they are very specialized and they are not always the names are not just by looking at the names, you cannot easily decipher or the entire details of the Erasmus program. So it is essential you check individually the name of the programs that you are interested on, and check the details that each program entails, and that is how you can be able to apply for the programs. And I think just like Kudirat, I think someone mentioned about the maximum number of programs you can apply for. I think last year there was, I think, some problems between, like, some people were saying there were restrictions on 3 and then there were some 4. But then for me personally, I went with 3. But then a friend of mine applied for 15 and then got into 4 and got rejected for the rest of the application for the scholarships. So, but then it is again essential to contact the individual coordinator, because these restrictions usually comes from like individual programs, not like the entire Erasmus. So like one program can allow you to apply for multiple programs, and one can restrict you to as well apply for multiple programs. So that is why I emphasize on emailing those coordinators, asking them a lot of questions. I think that is what I did majorly on my applications. Like I was constantly sending them emails, and that I think they have always been responsive to my answers. And I think after the Erasmus Mundus catalog is just a website where you can find the description of the programs, but it's not the main website through which you can apply for the programs. So each program you check, there is a direct link to the website in which you can apply for the program, or in which you can get the entire details and descriptions of the program and how and what, and then you can even the mobilities, everything you need to know about the program. So the catalog just gives you an information of the programs, and then applying, there is always a link. If not always, then you can as well, at some point back, because I started checking the Erasmus programs, I think, far ahead of time, even before the application was opened. So then the link to the main website was not provided. So what I was doing was to copy the name of the program, then go to Google, then search, then that is how I ended up getting the main website of those programs that I could apply for those programs. And then for the specific applications, I don't think there is a word or like there's any a word that can describe how to navigate through the webs, because each program is very completely, like each program has its own different application requirement, different application pace, different application platform. So it is very essential to check. Some are just straightforward, some are like very detailed for you to just go through, and then just details asking you for your personal details. And then another thing I would also emphasize is going through the frequent asked questions. So whenever you're checking on any program, first of all, before asking anyone or before sending any email to any coordinator, I go to the frequent asked questions, get all the questions. If I get my questions answered, then I don't have to email the coordinator. If I don't, then that is when
I'll email the coordinator asking her about the relevant questions. So I think, yeah, that's all I have to say about the catalog, and then going forward to apply programs. Yes.
Thank you very much. To summarize what you said, I have to open the Erasmus official page.
Yes.
Advise that they go through all the courses first so that they know what it entails before you do a filtering of the courses. So there is a button for filtering in the website to actually help you navigate. So when you open the particular course that you're interested in, there will be a link for you to apply for the program. And if you don't see the link, you copy the program and go to Google, a different tab, and also search for it, and you will see all the information you need. And before you ask any question before you ask any scholar or send an email to the coordinator of a particular program, make sure you read the frequently asked questions section. And if you don't find your question there, that is when you can email your coordinator. And also, if something is not very clear to you, or like there's a question you want to ask, or there's something you saw and you don't understand, you can email your coordinator. Like this case of IELTS, can email your coordinator and everything. Great, amazing. So I think I've been able to summarize that for people. I don't know, any other scholar have something to add, because I want this meeting to end in 15 minutes, please, because I know we are all exhausted, so that we can go back to our individual assignment. Is there something anybody want to add?
All right. No. Let my leader Oluwatobilola go.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have something to say. Okay, for my own course, it's new actually. We're the first set. Okay, so great. if you're going to be talking about frequently asked questions, how to navigate it and all, it was actually the page actually was like, it was looking like, okay, how do I go about this? What do I need and all that? And the funniest thing is that I actually was not following any Erasmus group. I didn't even have any catalog. I didn't download anything because I was actually looking for the course to study, and someone sent a course. I chatted one of my colleagues in clinical psychology forum, and he sent me a series of stuffs, and it was just this one Erasmus that was part of what he sent. And I looked at it, I'm like, oh, this makes sense. And then I went for it. So the thing is, I think it's you just have to read about, basically look at what it's all about, because for me it's new. No senior, no nothing. We had no idea about anything. So
this
you
is
just have to
email your course coordinator to actually ask certain questions. Okay.
Yeah. So I actually did not email anybody. I read through everything. I browsed about it. Look at the necessary, what's it called? Look, there are certain stuffs that you might not understand, read them, check the meaning online, and then you're good to go. So that's just it for me. I didn't go through all of this and all that. So sometimes we have to just be patient, go about all these things and digest them before we say, oh no, I don't think I can do this. This is hard and all that. No, I don't think it's about that. You just have to calm down, look at it, let it sink and understand what you want to do. That's what I want to say.
All right. Thank you so much. Sika, you want to say something?
Yes. So I just want to thank God my leader just brought that up. I just want to say that it's very important for people to do personal research, because this is something where I've had a lot of issues. People have said, oh, Nsikak is now proud. I believe, yes, they've said that. I can't again, whatever thing people are saying now, I accept it. I'm proud. All right. But the thing is this now, we as scholars, we have a couple of things that we are doing, ranging from schoolwork and the likes. I believe my brother Abubakar in Finland, the code in Finland is March. In fact, even to work is very difficult, right? But that is just by the way. Now, it takes people to do due diligence to go through these things first of all. There are a lot of resources you can, and also a lot of information you can always get on that catalog. Now, if maybe you check a particular website, let's say for a program like cyber, which I just did once my leader was talking, there are a couple of informations I found there. one should be able to look at those informations first, know if they are even eligible for it, even before even applying. See what works. Look at the programs. Do I even fit for this? Before even thinking of reaching out to scholars, because these scholars have many other things that they're doing, right? But if you've made the work easy already by checking all of these things, the requirement, you've messaged the school already, once you're meeting us, it's like, okay, just help us do this. And I'll be like, okay, I will be able to sacrifice like 30 minutes to help you do this and that. Now, I would also say that I don't know if it's possible for us to like present, because even after all of this, I know a couple of people will still reach out to be like, oh, how does the catalog looks like? If it's possible for us to, I can present from my end, and then people can see how the catalog looks like, and then how you can do the search. So that once anyone goes there can check. And also to add, new programs are always added. So I would still follow with what Abubakar said, that you need to check. You need to check, because there are programs you may have thought are not there, or maybe were not there before, but they are now, because right now there are about 170 programs on the Erasmus. So there are new programs that have been added. So you need to look through, aside from using the keywords, to see programs that you might be interested in, new ones which you one stands a chance of applying for as well. So that was just my own contribution from this part of the world.
Thank you so much. As regarding that, so I don't know if you can do a personal screen recording for me from your laptop, please, on the catalog, starting from the Erasmus Mundus main page. Then you just do, like, even if it's 5 minutes, explaining to you how to browse through and how to navigate through to the point of putting in an application. I wouldn't mind. So you can send a video personally to me. I'll draw my email for you. Then from there, I can upload it as part of this video afterwards.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen. I don't know if people can see this.
I don't think so. The platform that I'm using doesn't allow screen sharing. That is why I suggested what I just suggested. So 5 minutes is fine. I will just add it to this and come up when I'm uploading the video. Thank you so very much. So the next question. Okay, I think let's kindly go back to question and answers, because for people to ask the question, it is actually something that is bothering them. So the next question is Stephanie, please say something. I was waiting for you to join. Can you say something?
Can you hear me?
Oh, finally. Implant people. She's finally here. Yeah.
Which country are you from?
Oh, wow. We are breaking.
Which country are you, Stephanie?
She's in France.
Nigeria.
Is it that bad?
It's not bad.
Okay. You're actually breaking, but we can hear you in a very little pace.
Okay. Can you hear me well now?
We can see you, but it's very low. We can hear you.
No, we can hear you. It's actually manageable. You can just go ahead. Yeah.
You can just go ahead and say something regarding personal statements and how to approach it.
Okay. So I don't know what you guys have already covered, because can you hear me? I'm looking at everything.
Yes.
All right. I don't know what you guys have covered already, but concerning my own personal statement, because my program, I think it's a little bit different from some. Like, my program uses question prompts for personal questions. Yeah, so we had 4 question prompts, and we are expected to answer them. So each of them, they tell you what they want to know. Maybe the one, can you tell me? So they'll tell you, tell us why you chose this program and why you chose this particular mobility track. Because in my program, we have different mobility tracks, and you have to justify why you're choosing anyone. So then the next one, you talk about your academic background as it's related to the program. Then the next one, you have to talk about your goals, your goals, and finally why you think coming to Europe can help you in achieving your goals. So the point is that any of these questions you're answering, you should make sure that you answer based on what you are asked. So when you're personal questions, when you personal statements, and you're answering these questions, after answering any question, just ask yourself, did I actually answer the question they asked me? Or am I just writing anything that comes to my mind? So, for example, where they ask about your background, you shouldn't talk about why you want to come to Erasmus there. There is a space for it. So you should just be precise and go straight to the point with your answers, and you don't have to go from A to B or from D to Z before. Just straight and answer your questions. That's it.
Okay, thank you so much. I think Sika is trying to share his screen and it's coming up and on, but it's not very clear. All right, so we were just going to the question. Somebody said, is it advisable to, Towit Mariam said, is it advisable to apply very early or time of application doesn't matter?
Should I answer that?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah. So I would say that it's better for you to submit a strong application than for you to start submit early. So if you just have to know your program deadline. For me, I applied on the last of my program. I applied by 9 p.m. on the last day of my program. I am not advising you to do the same thing, but what I'm saying is that you shouldn't be so much in a hurry to send in your application. You should make sure that you are sending in a strong application. I think that matters. So make sure you take time to go through all your documents. Make sure you take time to go through your essays and make sure that they are good. Then you can send in your application maybe a day or 2 days, depending. But don't be in a hurry like I was when I was doing and I applied it last day. So maybe 2-3 days before the deadline, you can apply. After you make sure your all your documents and intact, you can apply. Don't just be in a hurry.
Thank you so much for that. So, for those that were asking for the catalog link, that is the short link for it. You can just easily type it on your browser and on your search link, and it will take you to Erasmus Mundus catalog official page.
Okay,
So
sorry. Sorry. Can I just add something to what Stephanie said earlier?
Okay, yes, please.
What I just want to say is there are a couple of programs that are not open yet, which probably I know that many are open, but there are some which will be open soon. Now, if you have a program you want to apply for and it's not open yet, it's very wise for you to start your application right now. You don't have to wait until that program opens before you start applying, because the time frame, like from when the program will open to when it will close, might be short. So you can start preparing, like, the requirement, what you need to get. You need to get proficiency letter, you need to get your certificate of residence, all of these things. Start drafting your application before that time, so that once it is open, you will be putting out a very strong application and you will not be under pressure to just apply. So that is just what I wanted to add to that.
Thank you so much for that. So
Yeah,
the next,
I'd love to add something.
okay.
Like what is said, I want to put an instance. For European Forestry, for the 2022 application, it will be open for just 2 weeks. So it is very advisable for who is interested in it to start gathering the requirements. Yeah.
Just 2 weeks. Wow, you people are not smiling. You people don't want to take more people. What's going on? But it's well. Okay, the question Ahmed Taye said, okay, it's not a question. You said you can get your proof of residency from any organization you work with. You can also get it from your local government. I got mine from my PPA where I did my NYC. Okay. I think you can't just get it from any organization. It has to be an organization you're currently working with. Yeah, because take for example, if you work with an organization 3 years ago and you left that place and you went to somewhere else, it will not be valid if you go back there and get your residency. There will be a discrepancy when they do a comparison with your CV and your location. So please take that. Don't just go to anywhere and get your residency. And Mrs. said something very important about getting it at one Lagos State, La Sapera, somewhere. It's more contingent when you go there and you get your residency certificate.
All right. So also, I think as much as possible, if possible, get it from the court. Don't just stress yourself. Just go to the court, tell them to give you. They will give it to you. It's easier and it's more credible because it bears that Nigerian Bar Association, all of those seals and stuff. So it looks more credible. It's also more recognized and it's also easy to get as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So the next question says, Mafusa Bubaka asks, is there a recorded version of this? Yeah, there's this. I will upload this video directly to my YouTube channel immediately after this session is over, so you can check on my YouTube channel the live part of the YouTube. YouTube has sectionalized the entire video platform, so you can only find it on the part of live, not just on the video part, but it will be there immediately after the session. I will upload it there. The next question says, can I please have LinkedIn profile of the second guy that answered my question on applying before graduation? Was it Nsika or was it Abubakar?
I don't know. Okay. Then yeah, let me put the LinkedIn profile on the comment.
If you send it to me on WhatsApp, Abubakar, it will be easier for them to see it since I'm the host. My comments are something like that.
Let me just send it to you then.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So Farouk is asking, Scholar, please, what is the hope of a final year student on this Erasmus Plus scholarship?
It's been answered already.
Yeah, it's been answered already. You can apply because I think we can provide your transcripts, you are eligible to apply. Odo Michael said, please, I'm applying for the farm program. I checked their grading system, but I discovered that 40% of the scores goes for the previous academic studies. Does it mean they prioritize first class?
Not necessarily, because I know 5 scholars, and I'm sure that 3 of them did not have first class. So I'm not sure that is very required. So it's just about you being able to show that, okay, you studied this, and apart from what you state, like your certificate, on the motivation letter too, there's a way you can also state something that also strengthens what you studied. So that also works well and also counts among the gradings.
Okay.
So the 60%, you can work more on the 60%, and you cannot get 0 for the 40%. So you have to work on your strength.
Okay. Donatus, do you have something to say or something to add to that?
I think a lot of things comes to play when we talk about the way they score your previous academic study.
Okay.
First, it has to do with what you've graduated with. Secondly, it has to do with the synchronicity between your background and where you are going.
Okay.
So having a first class is an aspect of this thing, and it's not an issue. Once you have a 2-1, you are a good student for Erasmus. At least coupled with probably the experience you must have gathered from volunteering and the like. So another good is that, is this program very related to probably what you've done? How related is another metric they use to judge what they will give to you. It's just like telling you the percentage of academic considerations, because there are a lot of considerations in scholarship. There's even the catchment policy. We're not taking North African this time. We're taking West African. We're taking this. We're taking. So sometimes when you don't even get scholarship, it's not as though you have not done a good job. It could be that a catchment policy has excluded you. So don't look at your document and write them off. They don't carry me for scholarship. Maybe I have not done well. Maybe because I don't have a first class. It's a lie. Sometimes there are a lot of consideration. Inclusion could exclude you. They prefer a lady to balance the numbers. And you are new. These are some of the dynamics that come to play when selection are going on. So the issue of 40%, first of all, look at the fact that, okay, did you have a good grade? If you had a 4.0 upwards CGPA, it's fine. You're already on a good threshold as far as academic consideration is concerned. Then again, they will look at the closeness of your previous field to this field that you are attempting to navigate. These are some of the considerations that will finally form what they will score you. So don't worry about if you had a first class and a second class. It doesn't matter. Just work on your profile. That's it.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I think that question has been sufficiently answered. Happiness is asking if we have a WhatsApp group. I personally do not have a WhatsApp group. I don't know if there's any scholar that have a WhatsApp group that coaches people. I don't have one.
Except
I
Donatus.
do.
Donatus has,
I
yeah.
think I have one.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, okay.
You
Could you
can do that. He's an admin of my group. He's part of my group.
Okay, great. So can you kindly send the WhatsApp link to my DM on WhatsApp so that I can put it on the comment section for people that want to join? Thank you so much.
Let me see.
Okay. It's the same question she's asking. Oh, she kept on repeating the question all over again. Kels is asking, is the scholarship limited to 2-1 or to 2-2?
No. The scholarship is not limited to any grade. This thing is far, far beyond grades most times. I think you should look at maybe doing things that shows that you're a purposeful person. Apart from grades, although I'm not saying you should go and have a 2-2, it will send you for Erasmus.
Right.
We have to make that very clear. If you have a 2-2, our advice will start with a Nigerian master's. At least it's very easy. You do like 5 courses for each semester. You could have a distinction. It's very, very easy in Nigeria for me. So if you do your master's degree in Nigeria and you get probably a merit or at least a degree, a master's, a distinction, that is a good thing. You complement that for your 2-2, then you apply. And of course, we have these online free courses that you can do. Get online free courses. Then just spice up your application. And then, of course, the motivation letter is very, very strategic. It's very, very, very strategic. That is your strongest weapon for application. Don't joke with it. Sometimes motivation can give you what a first class student cannot have. I'm telling you the truth. A motivation letter that has been thoroughly drafted can give you what a first class student cannot have. So just work on your motivation letter very strategically. Look at what you've done. Look at what you are doing. Look at where you are going. There must be a synchronym between everything about your motivation and the program you are applying to. Don't litter it with unnecessary details. If you are putting A, it must be that the A is related to the B, which is the program that you are going to. If it was a leadership role, it could be that it taught you how to be organized. And of course, there's no way organization will not come as part of what you'll be doing in the program. Maybe organizing your class schedule, organizing. So you just find a way of, you don't show your creativity, your smartness, and these are the kind of people that they want to see at the end of the day. So don't get a 2-2, but at least with a 2-1, spice up your profile, get some extracurricular activity. Publications are there too. If you are the person that is very scholarly in nature, you could have your publications attached to your CV. It's art. And if you can't do that, you can put them on ResearchGate. If you have a profile, you can put them on academia. Then you just extract the link and attach it to your CV. By just looking it up, they might be impressed with your writing style. Of course, this is academics. That would be a plus for you. So there are just a lot of things. Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I just want to add, please. It's not about trying to be, please be academically inclined. Try to publish. If you can publish, please publish. You are doing a master's degree and you will be writing essays, you will write. So please try as much as possible to, if possible, have publication. But I'm not saying it's that important. And also, let's look at statistics. We have scholars who had 2-2 or who have 2-2 and are currently scholars. I think this year we have about 10 or so.
I'm one of them.
All right. So exactly. So you guys can actually see what I'm saying. So don't say because you have a 2-2 you can't get it. We have many people who have 2-2 and are part of the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. So you know that this, it's like is where you are. You have other strengths, other things that should be able to complement that. So try to build on leadership. Volunteering is very important. You can always have these things. Join networks that will help you grow. publish if possible, and as much as possible if you want to do. They are very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Odo Michael, your series of questions has been answered. They say thank you. So, yeah, this is the link to Abubakar's LinkedIn profile. You can go there and add him as a contact. Obidon Arts, I think that's my friend. Yeah, thank you for being around. I'm around. Thank you for the session. I'm glad you got value. So, Happiness that asked about a WhatsApp group where they coach prospective scholars. This is the link to the WhatsApp. I've pinned it to the chats and the conversation. It is on yellow. You can actually type that link and you would be directed to the WhatsApp group that is led by these prestigious scholars. Face of Erasmus is also there. You know what I'm saying? So, please meet Zari for me, please. Scholarship through Master Solution. Okay, Zari, you're having plenty greetings today, brothers from Nigeria and all over the world. Thank you so much. So we have answered every question we intended answering today. And in 1 minute, please, I want you all to take 1 minute and give a word of motivation to prospective scholars there. We were once in that shoe and we know exactly how it feels in the application process. Uzari gave an example of somebody applying for like 14, maybe 15 programs and only got 4. You
Yeah.
full-time job. How do you do that? How do you manage to do that? Exactly. So Nsika, the first person on my screen. So we just go through word of word of recommendation, whatever, support to prospective scholars. Thank you.
All right. For me, I just want to say that once I used to be in Sikak of Kanu, but I aimed, and before I even came out here, I used to call myself a Sikak of Africa. And I'm not in Africa, I'm finally in Europe because I believed I could do it, and I'm here. And as much as possible, believe in yourself. Yeah, I will always say this, that the dream is always very valid. If you believe it is. So you shouldn't sell yourself short. Now, when I applied for my program, I knew from antecedent that they only take one person per year, because I can tell you that Euro Public Health is the most competitive Erasmus program. I told myself that even if it has to be one person, Nsika Kabasi, Samuel George, will be that one person. Like, that was it, nothing else. In fact, when I told,
of everything,
come on,
scholarship,
no, it's not that. It's not
guys
that.
everywhere.
But
Look
then,
for organization, you find him. Leadership is there. Eating food is there. Chief.
No, I think MTN Network, MTN Network should be really proud of me, because everywhere you go, you will find me.
Yeah,
but then my friends were really scared, because they were like, Tika, you can't. But I told them that it was possible, because I knew the work I had put in, and also I knew it was also possible. So it is possible. Everything is possible. Yeah, certainly. That is just everything I can just see right now. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Kudirat, please.
Mentor. Okay. So for me, I'll be motivating those who have been trying, because I actually got 2 scholarships on my 3rd application round. Even though I had a first class, but I'll tell people to improve their skills, and they should work on their CV while they wait for the years. If they actually think, if they are convinced that they will win, they will surely win. So while they wait as well, they should work with positive-minded people. That really helped me. I have a lot of friends who won scholarship immediately in 2019, someone in 2020, but I won mine in 2021. They were all there for me. We worked together. They were there sending messages, reaching out to know what's up with me in Nigeria. So it really helped me. They should work with people who understand what dreams are. They shouldn't work with people who will spoil their mood. And yeah,
thank you.
That's my advice on that.
Thank you very much. Donatus, please, can you give your word of encouragement?
I would just advise that every applicant is very, very concerned about what the application pack looks like. Like I said, be very concerned about your motivation. especially if you're applying to a program that does not conduct interviews. It's the basic thing that your program will look at in choosing you. The first time I applied for Erasmus, I reviewed my SOP for 7 months. I read it every day, and I changed something in it every day. Just an A4 paper, 7 months before I submitted. So is that serious? Your SOP is your voice, is your greatest instrument. Every other thing comes second. That's you, and you are the person they will be working with. So I always emphasize that. And you should use LinkedIn a lot. I noticed some persons are already asking. Use LinkedIn. It exposes you to a lot of professional issues that could help, like courses and stuff like that. And yeah, just work on your CV and build networks. Build networks. Be resilient. Yeah, and that's just. And then again, before I forget, whenever they ask you for IELTS, always ask them first why before you go and write. Please ask them why. You are a Nigerian. You have been reading English since you were born. In fact, some of your indigenous language you cannot speak them because of English language. And somebody asks you to go and write English language test before you show you are proficient. It's wrong. So ask them first, why am I writing this exam? Then you cannot say, okay, since you have convinced me, let me go and write. Because if we start asking questions, gradually we will deconstruct all these unnecessary neocolonial manipulations, because that's what they are to me. They are stereotypes. So ask questions. Don't just do like, because I want to enter school, I want to do scholarship, anything they give you, basketballs, you collect. No, you try to bring a constructive argument forward. But sir, I'm an English native speaker. Why this? Why that? It even shows that you're a leader. They will like people like you. So that's just it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I wanted to bring Stephanie in, but our network is out and in. Somebody was even asking about her. So Abubakar, please, can you kindly give your final words of encouragement to prospective scholars?
Okay. So for me, what I would always encourage, what I would always advise any prospective scholar to do is to start in good time. I started the scholarship hunt since I was in my first year back in Hungary, because I went on scholarship. I knew how hard I worked my ass off to get the scholarship to go to Hungary. I was awarded 2 different undergraduate scholarships. So I knew what I wanted beginning from my first year. And that is, I even had to at some point convince the entire department to open a specialization that is going to favor me, like with the programs, with the list of courses I'm going to take, that is going to make me eligible for an Erasmus Masters I'm going to apply for, which is currently the program I am currently on now. So like starting in good time is very important, especially for Erasmus. And what I also feel about Erasmus is you can always improve on Erasmus and be able to win Erasmus, like regardless of the grade you have graduated with. I'm not encouraging anyone to graduate with with a low grade, but then I would still, Erasmus is something you can always commit to or build your profile upon, and then be able to win the scholarship afterwards. So yes.
Thank you so much. Okay. I don't know. Please, Mrs., you come last. Stephanie, can you hear me? Can you kindly give your last words of encouragement to prospective scholars? Hi, Stephanie. Okay, she's out again. Mrs., please kindly give your last word of encouragement to prospective scholars. You're muted, ma'am. You're muted.
Okay, yeah. I would like to actually start with the fact that having a tutu, okay, from OAU was tug of war, okay? It's not as if maybe you're not good or something, but it just happened that way. So it was one of the things that prompted me to go for masters. So I went for masters again to OAU in clinical psychology, okay? So all of these things were one of the things that, build up my CV, build up my statement of purpose and all that. It was the story, okay? So what I exactly want to say is that every stage of your life, everything that you go through is for a purpose. So don't consider yourself, oh, I don't think I can fit in. I don't think it's possible for me. I just want to encourage somebody out there that every stage, it's a building block, okay? Everything you go through, whatsoever it is, it's a building block. So see it as here, whatever you do here, a little there, a little, line upon line, everything is for a purpose. So every of these things will bring about the best out of you. So don't say, I can't do this, it's not possible. You have to believe in yourself. Keep believing, stand strong, and I know that you're going to come out well and you'll be the next scholar. Okay.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Be the next scholar. That is the topic. Yeah, we are rooting for you all. Stephanie, please, your last words, ma'am. Okay. I think that is not our fault. I want to sincerely thank everyone for being in this meeting up to this very hour. I don't take your time for granted. Thank you for pouring out your depth of knowledge to prospective scholars. I, for example, I have learned a lot of things from this session. If I was planning to apply for Erasmus, I would be armed with sufficient knowledge to actually start my application without fear or anything. Thank you for showing resilience and tenacity to be to the point that you're actually in now. Trust me, a lot of people are learning from your tenacity and who you have become over time. And once again, thank you and God bless you. If you're a prospective scholar, there's something called God factor. And when we mention God factor, we are not exaggerating. Honestly, we are not exaggerating. There are people that have been in this race far like 5, 3, 4, 5 years. There are people that are applying to 20 applications. There are people that came out with first class of 4.95. There are people that have made 100 publications and they are in the same race with you. Whatever it is that stands you out, personally, me, I don't know. But there's something called the God factor. And I don't want you to ever underestimate that thing. It works all the time. So my name is MFONISO, and I was the host of this prestigious roundtable discussion. I hope you had a good time. If you are new to my channel, kindly drop a like. Welcome to the community. We love you and we hope to see you once again. So having said that, this is the end of this broadcast. This video will be uploaded on this channel, so you can always come back anytime to rewatch it. And if there's any question you want to ask, you can drop the question. If I cannot provide an answer to it, these scholars, I can always reach out to them and they will answer the question and I will come back and answer it. Our social media are also available and you can always reach out to us personally on our social media handles. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Truly have a great evening wherever you are. And thank you once again. God bless you. Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye.